Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to the PTM Racing Podcast. This is episode 4 of our soon-to-be long-running podcast. Tonight, we are joined with some very, very special guests tonight. We have some league owners in with us to talk about some of the hardships and the great ideas and the hard lives that come with league racing and all its properties. I'm joined tonight with Pottles, the owner of PTM Racing. She has had her league been running since 2016. She currently is right now running with Sunday trucks, pit adjustments at 7:45 Eastern Time, Monday Cup custom setups at 8 Eastern Time, and Tuesday Xfinity pit adjustments at 8 Eastern Time. Pottles, great to have you on the show tonight. All right.
Thanks. Sorry, I had muted.
Oh, it's okay. And we're also joined tonight with one of our other drivers, Old School Motorsports Incorporated. That is ran by Dark Knight, and they have been running since 2019. Currently running right now Friday's Cup preset at 9 Eastern with plans expansion. Dark Knight, welcome to the show. Glad to have you with us.
Thank you guys, man. Appreciate it.
And another league owner and driver we have with us tonight is the White Lightning Racing Series, owned by Big Blue Coupe. They are currently running Thursday nights, preset pit adjustments at 7:40 Eastern Time. Big Blue Coupe, thank you for joining us tonight as well.
Appreciate you guys having me here tonight.
And for a little bit of some old time and past times from the Challenger Racing League, a league unfortunately that is currently suspended till further notice, ran by one of our good friends here in the PTM Racing Series, Naughty Milk Duds. They ran in fall 2018 through summer 2019. They ran Cup, Truck, and Xfinity alternating seasons, ran preset pit adjustments to go with it. Naughty Milk Duds, great to have you with us tonight.
Thank you.
And last but not least, an admin for On a Mission. It was Keffer 18. They ran Tuesday Xfinity Custom 50% 3 times wear, Thursday night Cup Custom with 50% 3 times wear, and Saturday night 100% Custom times 1 wear. Keffer, thank you for joining us for representing On a Mission tonight.
Oh, great to be here and glad to have my buddy Will with me.
Yes, we have Will as well from On a Mission. Will, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, no problem.
Guys and gals, it is absolutely a pleasure to be in. It's a pleasure to just be with such royalty of league racing, especially the modern age and the modern day of what NASCAR has become and what in these times and days that we race. It's just so good to be around so many good people that are helping others out there, really training and getting better drivers and better racers for possibly even to get into the actual NASCAR series and beyond.
Sorry, was that a question?
Oh no, I was just kind of seeing if anyone else wanted to chime in there.
Yeah, I didn't know if he was asked a question or what.
No.
Just
Nah, just trying to have a little conversation with everybody here. So
I done forgot what he asked. Now.
That's all good.
Yeah.
Well, I guess since everyone's kind of questioning about the questions, let's get right to it. So I need to ask you guys and gals, one thing that always has been a key factor that people have always wanted to know was, what made you say, hey, I'd like to start a league racing series in NASCAR?
Well, I guess I can go first. Mine was back to 15, 16, I guess. I didn't like how other people was running their leagues and cheap shots and all that stuff, and just, I don't know, I guess nothing was put in place. Like, everyone, it was like favoritism and stuff. I just got sick of it. I started up my own, and that was back in 2016, and here we are today.
I'm right there with you, Pottles. Same for me. Kind of bad experiences, bad league experiences, and you take what you learn, and you can make your own and apply it. And as long as you stick to the rules and you're not biased and you're fair to everybody, you'll have a bunch of good, clean, respectful racing on the track. And that's what we're trying to produce over there. And the guys do a pretty good job, man. Everybody respects everybody, and we have fun on the mic while we're racing, and it's come a long way just in one season. And so I'm looking forward to the new season coming in 2-3 weeks. You know, really excited about it because we of course got a lot of new guys. Went to from 16 to 53 members, I believe it is. So that's a big jump in 2.5 weeks. And of course, you got to keep your eye out. And I'm hosting races. I'm hosting one tonight for these guys, new guys, and you know, kind of filling them out before the season's over. So if we have to take any action before the new season starts, then we'll take action. You know, but we're going to run a clean, respectful league here to where everybody can have fun. You know. And that's just my point of view.
Yeah, I mean, I agree right with you on that one. I mean, this is my first year running a league and everything, and good buddy Dylan Weck, we all came from a bad league and decided to start up White Lightning, and he's actually getting married and dealing with a bunch of wedding stuff, so I took it over for him, and I mean, it's just been a blast. I mean, you know, especially if you have the right guys helping you out along the way, and guys who've had experiences showing you, you know, this or that way, and, you know, I mean, all you do is just build from that, and, I mean, people are really, you know, it's not surprising the friendships that you build from racing with everybody, you know, week to week or every night. I mean, it's just been a blast, and I can't wait to continue to do it.
Yeah, I firmly believe myself. You get the right people in place, and you go by the rules, and you stick to the rules. Everything else will work itself out. Seems
and
run smoother.
I think that's one of the key things that you'll notice with a lot of leagues that are created is they're created from, you know, just that discord or you know, somebody wanting to have a better league, somebody wanting to, not necessarily a better league, but to go and take the good from a league that they're in, you know, do away with the bad and try, you know, take their shot at, you know, making something that's going to be a better finished product out of it. I can speak for myself. I think I started back on Heat 2, joined a league with made a couple friends, and then we just, you know, there's a lot of they were a casual league, so nothing against that, but when it came to get competitive, you know, things just kind of fell apart. You know, guys weren't committed, and you know, I took a couple friends. I said, hey, why don't we try our shot at this? And that's how Challenger came to be, and we gave it a good shot. And I mean, you know, there were some bumps in the road. I think we ran a couple seasons, but you know, you notice in probably a lot of these leagues, like Pottle's leagues, that have been around a while. I mean, I don't know about her league, but I can honestly say some of the rules that were written were put in place because of things that people had did in leagues that you were in the past. You know, you just kind of sit there when you're making up the rules for your new league. You say, oh well, I remember that guy did a few things that kind of ruined the racing. Let's put that in there. So that's definitely a theme for the creation of a new league. Is, you know, you're not happy with where you've been. So
Right. Totally agree with you.
Yeah, I will say from on a mission standpoint inside, we've kind of seen the gamut, you know, from good and bad, and you know, I got to give AJ and Will the credit for getting on a mission going. We were all together at Midnight. I think a lot of people have heard of Midnight, and matter of fact, we named it Midnight because myself and AJ and a couple other guys, like you probably heard Slade and Bags, so, you know, we created that at midnight one night out of nowhere, coming from a bad league. And, you know, we had that, and Midnight is a really good, really competitive league, but one thing we noticed is we got really, really big, as you can say, from a lot of pro league guys, a lot of guys who, you know, are super fast, and everybody kind of came in. Next thing you know, you have 24, 25 guys wanting to race, and the races were pretty good, but it really got to a point at Midnight where, you know, if you weren't putting in hours and hours and hours of time to get your setups just right, you weren't going to be successful. which has good and bad thing to it, right? So if you're good over there and you're making moves and you're winning races, you are showing yourself to a lot of different people, like maybe the pro league, or just making yourself feel good, about how you're performing. But if you want to get on here and just kind of race casually, but still have competition and still be competitive, but not have to spend hours and hours working on setups, that's kind of where we went with On a Mission. So, our Thursday night races are very competitive. We have a lot of talent. We've had a lot of guys come over from midnight. Like I said, I came over a little bit after AJ and Will started it. We have guys like Diesel and Slade. They come over, bags, and run on a mission. It's competitive, it's intense, it's serious, but you kind of like tone it down a little bit. So you don't have to, you can kind of jump on a race, which makes it a lot more fun. And then, which is why we also opened up to Saturday night, 100% races, because again, that's more of a fun. Like, anybody that wants to come in and run 100% races, be our guest, have a good time. And I think that's how all these leagues get created. It's what are you looking for? Are you looking for super serious competition? Are you looking for fun? Are you looking to just like drink like 8 or 9 beers during the race and see if you can finish that bad boy cleanly? It's a whole different gamut. So, and we try to have all three, over in our league. But yeah, definitely, like you said, a lot of these leagues sprout from other leagues, and a lot of good ideas, and the rules come from different places, but they're all pretty similar rules because of stuff that we've learned over time.
Definitely sounds like, obviously, and from my personal experience from all the league racing that you guys put on and help with everyone else, that there's a lot of great and good stuff that comes from doing this, and also you really kind of build up people as well for a long run or for future, and in times also get people out of those hard times and kind of in a way create a family with the people you work with. But there is always another side to the story, so let's get to that. Now there's a lot of tough components to deal with being in a good league. What are the challenges that you had to endure or work with, and the struggles you faced in your leagues?
I missed it. I don't know if I cut out or he cut out.
Basically, there's a lot of tough components to deal with when being in a good league. What are those challenges that you had to endure or work with, and the struggles you faced running your guys' leagues?
I can start from On a Mission if you guys want. I don't mind being first.
Cool.
All right. Well, I'll tell you the first thing that we learned when we first created Midnight, and then what I learned there, and then how we've moved that over to On a Mission. And that is the struggle is you got to realize that you cannot make everyone happy. If you're trying to make every single person in your league happy, especially when you start getting these leagues that are 30, 40 people, and how are you going to cut the field down? What are you going to do for qualifying? Who makes the race? Who doesn't? That's very tough, because there's a lot of guys that are going to show up all the time, and you want them to race because they show up and support, but they may be, I don't want to say a problem on the track, but maybe their racing isn't as clean or as polished as maybe you want it for a certain series. So you really gotta like kind of finesse, and you gotta like understand different people in the league, and how we were talking earlier before the podcast about positive criticism versus negative criticism. So if you're gonna run a league, you need to be able to give out constructive criticism to guys, but you also need people and girls. You also need people who are going to join your league or want to come into the league, understand that not every time someone tells you something, they're not bashing you. They're trying to give you, positive criticism, something that's going to help you become a better driver. I know I learned about being a better driver just being in different leagues and learning the ropes of different, how to pass or when to pass, or when do you send it, when do you not, and that is a struggle, And then sometimes, one of the struggles is finding commentators. But we haven't had that problem lately, but I can tell you from our side, yeah, definitely is just trying to. You got to learn to yourself and as a group that you can't please everybody. And if you're going to race in the league, you got to understand you're not always going to get your way from the owners or admins of the league. But usually everybody has the best interest of the league, as what I guess the priority, which that has to be your priority. Best interest of the league, not yourself.
Yeah, I agree with you there totally. And like struggles with your own, they have guys help you out, because that's a lot to deal with. I mean, it is really a lot. Then when you start bringing new guys in, and like in that, for instance, they have to repeat yourself several times when guys can actually scroll up and read. that gets on frustrating side when you're repeating yourself. And something we learned, and when we first merged together, me and Trinity Beast Mode, we're CEOs of this league. And one of the things we learned, we were party mics, and we didn't really know each other. Of course, as time progressed, we stuck with the rules. We had to kick guys, even friends, and you hate to do that, but, you got to do what's best for the league. And, and then we got down to 16 on the racing, so much better being able to talk on the mic, say, hey, I'm underneath you, or hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. Sorry goes a long ways. So that's one of the things, new season we're looking at. We're going to be running just a 16-guy series. That way everybody can be on the mic and you can do that stuff. And you can avoid the frustrations. We talking about you learn from other leagues, and if you can't make them do nothing.
Dark, I hate to butt in there, but your mic is going in and out really bad.
Oh, bad.
Yeah, there's a few in and outs there. We're having some technical difficulties for anyone not understanding him there, unfortunately.
All right. Are you getting me clear now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming through just fine now, buddy. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, it's just, just like you said, things you take and you learn from other leagues, and it helps on the track, like I said, to be talking to each other, and that's one of our reasons for running 16 guys a series starting new season. So, that's a lot of stuff. If you really want to talk about it, we could be here for hours,
Definitely,
yeah, for sure. But yeah, you can go.
I was gonna say, to add to what Keffer was saying there, though, about just you can't make everybody happy. That's definitely a big
can't.
thing.
But if you make the most happy, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing is I've noticed the biggest challenge with a lot of leagues lately is just that communication. And I know you're probably thinking, oh yeah, calling your lines on track, but it goes more than that. It's there needs to be that line of clear understanding between the league owner or the league owners and whoever's making the rules and the actual drivers, because you can't make everybody happy, and that's definitely true. He nailed that perfectly. But at the same time, you've got these league owners, they're making changes to the rules for the best interest of the league, to make it interesting, make it fast, keep the people coming back racing every week. But at the same time, you got to pay attention to what the majority of your drivers are saying is gonna keep them coming back. What's gonna make for the best racing? Because you might make a rule change that you think is gonna be better, and you lose 90% of your drivers over it. And sometimes you gotta bite the bullet as a league owner and just go for what's gonna keep your drivers interested. And
you can't be biased. You can't be biased. If you got buddies, you got to lay the rules down fairly. I explained to guys I've run with a year and a half. You're grown men. We're all grown. You know the rules. You know the zero tolerance. So, as your friend and CEO, don't do nothing to make me have to, make that decision, because I will. Because I'm not biased, and I am fair, and the rules are the rules. You break them, it applies to you just like it applies to me. A friend, no friend, so it's tough, but you got to be that way. Like I said, depends on what you want to run, how you want your league to run. So and it's tough decisions, but it's what you face as league owners.
Yeah, there's a lot of struggles there. One of the struggles I have ran into that you guys probably haven't is being a female. Some men out there think, okay, you're a female, I don't have to do what you want me to do in your league, and so be it, but then they just get the boot. I'm trying to run a league, we have rules and we have to follow them to make this league work. But they think, oh, you're a female, who cares? Like,
Well,
definitely, I lose a lot of respect because of that.
Puddles, I will vouch for you on track anytime. I race with you. We had a good race at Dover.
Yeah.
I kind of crowded you, which, you felt bad and apologized to me, but that was more on me than it was you, because I was trying to pull a side draft on you, and I just crowded you just a little too much, and you caught that white line, which kind of bounced you up, and I got the worst end of it, but, hey.
Yeah, for sure.
We still had good racing, no hard feelings or nothing, and I would vouch for you any day on the track. I've never raced with females. You're one of the first, and I'll tell you what, you really made me sweat racing with you. So hats off to you, female or not.
Yeah, and some other struggles is full-time racers. Like, that's friends or not, it's hard to keep because anything can go on in life. Jobs can change, times can change, and they leave, and then you need to bring in more, and like, are they gonna fit in like the rest? After having drivers leave over silly things, like losing maybe 2 or 3 points for something, leave over that. Like, it's just a lot of struggles when it comes to running the league and owning one and getting the help that you need. Like, it took me 2 years to find an admin to help me out with a lot of stuff. I was doing it all by myself for 2 years, having like 20 and 30 drivers to manage and try to keep them in and try to keep everyone happy, but try to be fair towards everyone else and plus myself and not show favoritism towards anybody. And once you get that down pat, your league will run well.
All right.
Yeah. I was going to say, I just want to add to that. I think that for anyone that's listening that's wanting to join one of the leagues that we have here and we're talking about, I think it's important that you need to kind of have an idea of what kind of league you want to join, because we all have different rules and we have different expectations, Some leagues, like I said, are ones where you can literally drink 5 or 6 beers with your buddies, beat and bang off each other the whole time. Everybody laughs and has a good time. And there's other leagues where, like, it's intense and it's serious. And, some leagues have sponsors or people that are – and there's a trophy or cash or something at the end of it, right? Like, so – like, you got to find out, like, what's your niche? Like, what do you want to race? So before you just jump into the league and say, hey, I'm ready to race, you need to, I would say you need to get some type of, do some investigating in what is that league about? What do they do? How do they run? What are their expectations? And then see if that's something you'd want to do. And that's why we provide 3 different types, but at the same time, like, it's just certain leagues are not for everyone,
Yes, that's really true. It's really hard to find a league that fits you best. And well, we have a sponsor, but it's not no trophy or money. It's DirtTrackin, their mobile game. And at the end of the season, they're going to give like their DirtTrackin 2 code to the winner of the championship. That's the only sponsor we got. And we got Chrysler, Jeep. They're in Pennsylvania. They sponsor us in a different way. They put money into our page to help us reach more people. But I thank them a lot for doing that because we wouldn't have reached as many people as we did only for them. So do help out.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot that definitely goes into the struggles and all that, as you guys kind of hit on and stuff. So, and even in the chat, there's also some folks saying there are pros and cons to both the methods that everybody said there, which it can be very agreeable. There's always pros and cons to everything in life. Nothing is ever perfect, and leagues aren't perfect, but they are a lot of fun. But there are a lot of drivers out there, promoters that have started or tried getting a league started up, and a good portion unfortunately flop. But what is it that makes your league different to others out there? What makes it so special?
Well, for me, I really don't know, but I never give up on it. I tried to. People didn't like the way I ran it, so I started asking the drivers, what's some ideas that you guys want? What's some rules that you think that could help benefit us in the league to help aggressive driving, people with more patience? So an example of one rule we added was, if you make it 3 wide and it causes a wreck, you're docked points. That helps out with a lot of patience, because if people don't think they're going to hold their line, they're going to back out of that 3 wide because they don't want to lose points. So that really helps with like a lot of wrecks and cautions and stuff. That's one main thing, and so it's a lot more. But I'll let some other people talk here now.
You hit it on the nail. I mean, I agree with you there, 100%. So
Yeah, I mean,
there's
you know,
nothing to
that
add to
list,
that. I mean,
yeah, that list can go on and on. You can talk all day about that list. I mean, you know, that's the key thing. I mean, you know, especially, you know, trying to get, you know, input from other drivers. I mean, they appreciate that more than anything because, you know, it's like, you know, they're involved in it, and they're going to be there in and out every week for you. And I mean, you know, it's just, I mean, that's what's made White Lightning so much easier for me. You know, it was a real rough start at first, and then, you know, joining so many other leagues from WFO to Ruthless to Elite. I mean, the list goes on and on, but I mean, I've taken a little bit from how they run their leagues and tried to implement it into mine, and just makes it so much easier. And, you know, I'm always constantly asking guys, hey, you know, do you guys want to run a different tire wear for this time? How do you guys feel about custom cars, this and that? And then, you know, the feedback is just, it's just crazy, and it's just, you know, makes you feel good about running your league.
Yeah, it really helps to build a league. Another thing that we done too was we have short seasons. That's just something we done, and then we stuck with, and people seems to like it, and just keeps the competition a lot more harder. So 10 races, we take the championship of the series, and we allow them to pick out 5 tracks for the next season. So then it's not just the admins picking the tracks; it's the championship drivers.
yeah, and I agree with y'all. You know, my philosophy is, you may be league owner or whatnot, but you know, your drivers and all, they actually make the league. You know, and making them feel important, and then getting their opinions and all that. You know, that's really important to, because you develop a relationship with those guys. You know, it's like a racing family, and you want their opinions, their input, and it really goes a long way. So, you know, I'm with y'all guys on that too, and that's come from experiences in other leagues, and running one, you know, myself. So, yeah, man, like I said, we can agree on a lot of things. Some people may disagree, but looks like all of us, you know, pretty much got the same visions, and we all learned the same lessons, you know, and that's all you can do is take and apply it and try to build something yourself, you know, if that's what you're looking for. If you can't find it in a league, you know, find you a bunch of good guys that, you know, is going to stick there with you, and, you know, go make it happen.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you just get that committee going, and, you know, you all, you know, everybody just sit down and, you know, like, hey, what can we do to make this league, like, really take off, and just brainstorm and then run from there.
What can we do as better drivers on the track to avoid this, avoid that, you know? Yeah, it's really important to get that feedback from your, you know, from your drivers and the racers in your league. You know, and of course, you know, they respect that, and, you know, they enjoy it too.
Yep, definitely agree with that. I know one of the things our league tried to do different from other leagues was we just named it like the Challenger Racing League, and the goal behind it was to let you race kind of race however you dreamed of racing, like what you wanted to race. I know Pottle's League does a really good job of doing a Wreckfest League, which I think they actually raced tonight, for anybody interested. But we started out with NASCAR. We said, okay, when we get enough people, we'll, you know, because these guys, they talk about NASCAR, but they also talk about Formula One. They talk about the dirt rally games. Some of these guys love rallycross and motocross. I know there's leagues out there that do motocross leagues, and we just kind of wanted to build just a racing league with all avenues of racing, and you would find something fill your heart's desire, and it just wouldn't be the same. We got another season of cup racing coming up, another Xfinity season coming up. It was kind of to try and keep it to where we could go off and do a different racing avenue and have guys find something so they weren't getting burnt out. And that definitely we still have plans for that eventually, but it's getting enough guys in NASCAR racing leagues first, or getting that big field first, and then asking, all right, do you want to split off and do this too? So it's definitely a challenge, but we tried.
Yeah, I think with all the questions we've asked tonight and everything that we've kind of talked about as well, it kind of getting a better perspective, like what you guys have and gals have to deal with and on a constant basis, much less just trying to figure out like what makes your league special or makes it feel a little bit better, maybe compared to others out there that maybe they're just trying to run it for fun, and then some that are trying to run in like a series to where they can start getting closer and closer to bumping up into the Pro Series. Especially with the way that NASCAR 404 Games has been running their league and stuff for series, which it's amazing how much just some league racing will get you and where it will go from here to this point. So, but guys, we do have one final question for you tonight before we have to cap off for the night. So let's imagine right now we have a crystal ball and we can look into the future right now. What is your vision that you see your league going into?
I'll go on answer first because I've got a league race and I'm going to have to bounce out here. But I look for great things, man. Honestly, just by what we've learned and the guys we have, the commitment of guys that's been stepping up here recently. It's really going to be exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. And, as long as we got the right guys and guys just abide by the rules, it'll be smooth, and we'll put on a lot of great racing for folks, and just hope we can get out there a little more. And of course, we want more guys, but as y'all know, more ain't the best. It can be devastating. Yeah. So, but I really believe if you can take 40 guys, the right guys, and put them on any track, and these guys could race clean without cautions or very few cautions, as long as you got the right people, and just. With the guys, I believe we could take every guy we've got right now and put them on the track, and we would have some great racing. Which I wish we could do. That would be so fun to have 40 guys on the track and clean racing. I would love that myself. But right? y'all know as league owners that them numbers don't always work out. But it depends on your racers and what you're running in your league. So.
Well, for my league, I feel that we're pretty much at a pretty good goal for me. We have, one of my goals was to have 15 steady drivers. We're past that. We're almost 20 now in all three series. We have trucks, Xfinity, and Cup. We have broadcasters now. We have sponsors, like 2, not only 1. So that's a big goal for us. And to maybe just keep up with the steady racing and the broadcasting, keep up with the broadcasters too, and keep the sponsors going. I think Pedal to the Metal will be a great place to race for some.
Yeah, I think on the outlaw. Oh my God, why did I say that? On the mission side, I know why I said it. On the mission side, I would like to see, I want our league, and I know this is what AJ's vision was and what Will's vision was, to be extremely competitive but fun. So, there's that real fine line where you cross over. We're too competitive or we're too fun. Not too fun, but maybe like you're not taking it too seriously. That real fine line, extremely competitive but fun, where, out on a mission can get the recognition that Midnight and Outlaw and Venom, all those guys get from NASCAR Heat. You know what I mean? But I think some people don't care about that, but other guys do. This is really a huge break from life for people to be able to get on this game and be competitive, and have fun and relax and get away from the stress of every day. And I think what's really awesome or really cool is, and where I'd love to see On a Mission go, is that if you're the On a Mission Series champion, and I'll caveat that with that was season 1, so don't take this the wrong way. I put that out there, but if you win the championship in On a Mission, like that really means something in the NASCAR Heat community, right? Like people are like, oh wow, well you won On a Mission. I mean that's serious because you were up against some serious competition. To win the championship over there is extremely tough. That means something, and I think that really that makes people feel good about themselves and feel good about their life and helps them with that escape. And I think that's where I think we all want to see On a Mission go to, in the future. So I don't know about what everybody else thinks, but like I said, it's one of those things, right? Like I said earlier, but what are you looking for at racing? And I think if people are looking for competition but fun with some hard racing, if you think that I want it to be like, don't think that you're going to come to on a mission and then go out there and dominate the field, because that's not going to happen, right? Like you should be coming on a mission, and if you finish in the top 5, like you're celebrating. Like that's how we want the league to be. That it's that competitive, that it's that hard to get up there, with at the same time still being fun and not, overly time consuming. So hopefully that'll happen in the future. We'll see. Like I said, it's still important that we all have fun. One thing that we'll just add that an On a Mission that we've been successful at, which I wasn't successful at the last few leagues I've been in, is after a race you may have 2 minutes max of yelling at each other, and then it's over and everybody's chill. I think we've all experienced the 3 days worth of messages that just keep coming.
Yeah, it gets way crazy.
That happened, right? Yeah. And we've been really good about that. We keep it under control during the race. I think we've even instituted a penalty that you're not allowed to say anything in the chat negative during the race or you lose 10 points. So if you cuss somebody or say something in the chat during the race, you lose 10 points. And that's really calmed it down, or at least kept it at a minimal level. So
that sounds like a really good idea, because our league we don't have like drama where like, oh my god, you're effing da-da-da. Now every now and then you'll hear like, why did you effing hit me like that? But we'll just like, all right, knock it off now, guys. But yeah. That is a good idea.
What's crazy is like when someone says that, right? Well, now the other person who maybe is in a different party, if you have more than 16, now they're upset, and then they couldn't talk it out. So if you just keep all that stuff out of the chat, everybody can just kind of like stay calm and focused, and it makes a difference.
Yeah, well, we use Discord, so we have everyone in the chat all at once, and it's not too bad. If you got 20 people, it gets a little loud, but we do have a rule where we keep it race talk only. It do work a bit.
Yeah, and I found something that kind of works too, to avoid that. If you're having to run like you got so many guys and you're running 2 separate chats or whatnot, if they have problems, we can go to the holler, what we call it, and the league owners get on the mic, and those 2 guys get on the mic, and they can just have it out and either come to agreement or they don't, and then we'll deal with how we have to deal with it. But it keeps it out of the chat, and it keeps the respect. So that's another thing you can do. Just there's several things you can do, but that's just one of them.
We had the rule where don't handle things yourself. You let admin know, and we will take care of it. If you handle things yourself in the wrong way, then we will dock you points.
Those things where everybody handles things differently. Like, some people, if someone calls somebody an MFer in the chat, right? They may do one of 2 things, right? They may either be like, I'm gunning for this guy the rest of the race. Or they may just like, maybe that guy made a mistake, got called the name, and now he's afraid to race, or he or she's afraid to race, and now they're backing out of stuff they shouldn't be, So I think it's best to just hash it out, like you said, after the race,
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, guys, I've enjoyed it, and I appreciate y'all letting me come up and joining y'all's podcast. But I really got to go. I've got to go host a race, man.
Yep,
And,
no problem.
Good luck to y'all and y'all's league, man. I hope everything works out. Man, I
you
know
too,
you. I
man.
know your struggles,
Same to you,
man.
man.
I know your struggles.
Yeah, we've all been there before.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
So good luck, man, and thanks. And I'll catch y'all guys later.
Pleasure to have you, sir.
know,
Thank you again for coming on tonight.
Anybody wants to check out Old School Motorsports, if y'all think that's for y'all, check us out, man.
we'll give it a
We're
look.
glad to
Sure.
bring guys in. All right,
Okay, see
later,
ya.
guys.
So another thing was appreciation. You have some drivers that come in and they don't give two F's what you've done in the league, or they're thinking like they can run it instead of you run it. You're the owner. And appreciation, if people would actually sit down and realize how much work you put into a league, like when you got a new season come up, that's a lot of work. You have to do the schedule up. You have to make sure the rules are there in the right place. And one thing that drives me the most is you get a new driver in, you get them all set up with a number, and then all of a sudden they back out without even saying anything.
Yeah.
Like you just wasted
That's
a
the worst.
pile of my time.
Yep.
And that happens a lot.
I mean,
That's
that's
such.
Well, you raced the race though, and you let me know the reason, right? Like,
Yeah, that's such a key
but I'm
thing,
talking
though.
about people that just comes in and just gets a number ready to go, and then just backs out without saying a word. Like, what?
That's such a key thing, though, is commitment.
Yeah.
Like in leagues,
Yeah.
and it's the most frustrating. It could be the most frustrating component, or it could be the easiest component of a league. And I mean, it goes hand in hand with the whole trying to keep the majority of your league, coming back. And I mean, I think the biggest fear that all of us have as league owners, I think I can speak for everybody here, is you're worried you're going to wake up the next morning and you're going to check your messages of your league chat, whether you use Facebook Messenger, Discord, or whatever you may use, and you're going to find out that everybody's leaving, or that they're like, yeah, I'm not feeling it anymore, I'm done, guys, and then everybody just follows them, and you're left with a skeleton crew of maybe 2 guys or nobody at all.
And normally when that happens, there's someone in the league that either started a league or they're already in a league that they liked, and you end up having a bad night where the race wasn't good, it was a lot of wrecks, and then all of a sudden they take them guys that didn't like that race and they move on to another.
And it's finding guys that'll show up, and that it's like Keffer said about, these guys need to be thinking about what they want out of a league, but when they join, they not just showing up saying, well, I just like to race, like, how much do you like to race, let us know ahead of time whether you're going to be committed to this or you're just going to kind of, be here and there, are you going to be part-time, are you going to be full-time, don't just show up and then disappear.
We try to find out how many leagues other people are in, because sometimes you can overextend yourself. I've overextended myself, and I'll be honest, like, I was racing all the on a mission stuff. I was doing the Pro League qualifiers on Wednesday nights, and I decided, like, oh yeah, I joined Pottles League, and then it was like, was it Monday night? I was like, oh man, I got a race tonight. Like, next thing you know, if you're not careful, and this is not really much for owners as it is for people that want to join one of our leagues, whatever, but if you're not careful, next thing you know, you're racing 5 nights a week. Then you got people, hey, what are you doing? Are you racing again? Or what? You know what I mean? So
then you just drop whatever you can't handle
especially
at that
if you
point.
got like family too. Like I end up putting myself 7 nights a week racing. Like I put my kids to bed and I just get on the game and I race 7 nights a week. Like I had to get out of that. Like that was just crazy.
You just kind of join all these leagues, like throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing which noodles stick. Which ones you want to stay in.
Yeah, and like I said, if someone's out there listening, they want to join a league and specifically want a mission, but in these other ones, I would tell you, like, be committed to it. Like, and what we don't want to is, I think what annoys me the most is when we might have a night where we have 18 guys, and then so we'll have to break it down to, like, all right, well, you're going to have to qualify in. Obviously, if you're a certain number of points, you're in the race, right? But if you're there towards the back end and you qualify in, then you race like 20 laps of a 50% race, and then you're upset with how things are going, then you just back out. that frustrates me because somebody else could have been in that race that would have raced the whole race. So make sure if you're going to do these races, you're committed and you finish them out. I mean, obviously there's disconnects that happen or whatever. We understand that, but make sure you're there for the whole, man. Because like you said, everybody's putting time into this, building schedules, doing the tweets. Like there's sponsors involved in a lot of these leagues in some way, shape, or form. You know, if you're going to come join one of our leagues, and we hope you do, but make sure that you're committed to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like go ahead and know what you're getting into. I mean, and you know, kind of respect the time that everybody's, you know, these owners and you know, if you have a committee or whatnot, putting in the time to do all this stuff. You know, like I said, this is my first time running a league. This is my first time doing leagues in general, racing myself. And you know, once you get that first one, it's like addicting. It's like, all right, I gotta go find another one. I gotta go find another one. And next thing you know, like I said, I give shout outs to other leagues because, I mean, like I said, I've taken a little bit of those leagues and I've implemented it into mine, and it just makes it work like so much easier for me. You know, I'll do the points, I'll keep up with everybody's stats and this and that. I mean, it's just stuff that I enjoy to do. But absolutely, I mean, if you could get the guys just 100% commit to it, I mean, that's appreciation to you. That's like, hey, you know, all your hard work is paying off to get this league going and everything.
Yeah, for sure. There's nothing worse than someone coming in your league. I had this happen. Race 2 or 3 races like they were going to stay with you. Take your rules, take your point system, take everything you got, and just go and put it in their league.
Yeah, I mean, I've had
just like that. Just like, wow.
Yeah, I've had a couple guys come up, win one race, and then they're done. It's like, man, really? It's like, you know, that could have been somebody else's win you're taking away from, and extra points and this and that. It's like you're just taking away from all the guys that's committed to the league, and it's like, what do you do now?
I guess
you know, it's like I thank everybody for in all my leagues, from like I said, from WFO, Ruthless, Elite, P1M, and White Lightning. I thank everybody after every race. You know, I appreciate because not only as an owner but as a racer, you understand what they're going through, running the leagues and this and that. So it's like, you know, it's like, hey, I appreciate what you're doing for the league. I know what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I always try to make sure we think the commentators too, right? Because sometimes they get forgotten. You take them for granted until you don't have them, and that's one of those thankless jobs where someone's going to sit there, take their time, and not even be in the race and commentate, and that's a huge thing. And, you know, it really means a lot. And I just got one last thing to say, then I got to bounce. But I will say, for anyone that's watching or listening, I guess, and you're thinking about these leagues, and you're thinking, well, Pottles pissed me off, so I'm going over to on a mission. Well, just so you know, a lot of us league owners, as you can tell by this podcast, right? There's what 5 or 6 leagues in here. We talk to each other, so we know who's who, right? So don't think you're going to go in one league and stir up a bunch of crap and then just go somewhere else, right?
Yeah, that's another bad thing.
We'll
People bash in other leagues. Like they had something silly happen, and all of a sudden, all right, I'm leaving your league, and I'm just going over here, and I'm going to bash the shit right out of you.
It's like you guys gotta learn to just, you know, flat out, hey, remember, you know, now people are actually talking.
And they could have quit over something so silly, like just 3 or 4 points in a league. That's not much, like, or a warning. Like, they just leave over so much silly things, or they get kicked because of them going out and trying to wreck people.
It's crazy.
Or it's like, you know, like what I said, it's like they're committed at first, and then when they win that first race, it's like, nah, I don't have to be here anymore.
Yeah. Well, guys, and then bye. Well, unfortunately, we do have to also say goodbye tonight. So we want to, on behalf of PTM Podcast, I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. Pottles from PTM Racing. Dark Knight, thank you again for tuning in with us from Old School Motorsports Incorporated. Big Blue Coupe from White Lightning Racing. Naughty Milk Duds from Challenger Racing. Hope you can get that up soon enough, so everybody. Hopefully everything goes well for you. And then the admin for On a Mission, Keffer. Guys, gals, it was an absolute pleasure to hear your stories and understand like what goes behind the scenes and what you have to really deal with and what it means to run a league and the special moments that really just last forever. So on behalf of PTM Racing and the PTM Podcast, episode 4 is now complete. Thank you all for tuning in tonight, and then thanks again to our special guest. Everyone have a great night, and on behalf of all of our leagues, I can say Happy Easter, everybody. Have a good one.